Orly Airport in Paris, President Charles de Gaulle greeted the American chief executive. Mr. Kennedy described the purpose of his journey to Europe in these words. Two aims of American foreign policy above all others were the reason for the trip. The unity of the free world, whose strength is the security of us all, and the eventual achievement of a lasting peace. President Kennedy described the conversations he held with the French leader during his 3-day stay in Paris. My talks with General de Gaulle were profoundly encouraging. At Orly Airport in Paris, President Charles de Gaulle greeted the American chief executive. Mr. Kennedy described the purpose of his journey to Europe in these words. Two aims of American foreign policy above all others were the reason for the trip. The unity of the free world, whose strength is the security of us all, and the eventual achievement of a lasting peace. President Kennedy described the conversations he held with the French leader during his 3-day stay in Paris. My talks with General de Gaulle were profoundly encouraging.
up moments after the Zapruder film. Secret Service agent Clint Hill clings to the back of the limousine, shielding First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, draped over her stricken husband in that unforgettable pink suit. The car reaches speeds of 80 miles per hour, and in a desperate moment, Hill is said to have turned to the follow-up car and signals a grim thumbs down, a silent gesture of despair. Soon to be featured in an upcoming auction, this footage stands as a powerful reminder of that dark day in American history, offering us one more piece of the puzzle, a rare glimpse into the moments that followed, now brought to light for the world to see.
From his office in the White House in Washington, D.C., ABC Radio Network presents an address by the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. The President requested this time said he wanted to talk about the developments at the University of Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This afternoon, following a series of threats and defiant statements, the presence of Alabama National Guardsmen was required on the University of Alabama to carry out the final and unequivocal order of the United States District Court of the Northern District of Alabama. That order called for the admission of two clearly qualified young Alabama residents who happened to have been born Negro. That they were admitted peacefully on the campus is due in good measure to the conduct of the students of the University of Alabama, who met their responsibilities in a constructive way. I hope that every American, regardless of where he lives, will stop and examine his conscience about this and other related incidents. This nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Today we are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free. And when Americans are sent to Vietnam or West Berlin, we do not ask for whites only. It ought to be possible, therefore, for American students of any color to attend any public institution they select without having to be backed up by troops. It ought to be possible for American consumers of any color to receive equal service in places of public accommodation, such as hotels and restaurants and theaters and retail stores, without being forced to resort to demonstrations in the street. And it ought to be possible for American citizens of any color to register and to vote in a free election without interference or fear of reprisal. It ought to be possible, in short, for every American to enjoy the privileges of being American without regard to his race or his color. In short, every American ought to have the right to be treated as he would wish to be treated, as one would wish his children to be treated. But this is not the case. The Negro baby born in America today, regardless of the section of the state in which he is born, has about 1/2 as much chance of completing a high school as a white baby, born in the same place on the same day. 1/3 as much chance of completing college. 1/3 as much chance of becoming a professional man. Twice as much chance of becoming unemployed. About 1/7 as much chance of earning $10,000 a year. A life expectancy which is 7 years shorter, and the prospects of earning only half as much. This is not a sectional issue. Difficulties over segregation and discrimination exist in every city, in every state of the Union, producing in many cities a rising tide of discontent that threatens the public safety. Nor is this a partisan issue. In a time of domestic crisis, men of goodwill and generosity should be able to unite regardless of party or politics. This is not even a legal or legislative issue alone. It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right. We are confronted primarily